everybody, welcome back to another video. Well, here we are in the 8070. Got the 24-foot disc hooked up to it. Heading out of the barnyard down here and going to go right up here across the road and start disking the old wheat ground. We've not used this disc here for a while, and so we want to run it, help shine the blades up, because with our other three discs, the 30-foot and both of the 33-foot discs, we don't use this a whole lot anymore. And so got it put on. This is the tractor that we've always ran on, and so got it hooked up here. We're gonna go out here and see what happens, and then here after a while Dad's gonna come along. He'll hop on this one and take off, and I've got to get the red tractor and that disc ready to go. I've already got the disc hooked on. Just got to take and do a couple things to it with the scraper bars that here in this straw they always want to take and plug up on that disc for some reason. And so let's see what happens here. Alrighty, wings are going down. As for the depth control on the thing, I've got that set. Well, it just lets the disc float however far in it can go because of the straw cover and big stupid lamb's quarter. Thankfully, we've had some rain, so that's helped soften up the ground. So far, not too bad. In fact, come to think of it, for those of you that watch Dylan Joyce Farm on YouTube, if I remember right, they got a 24-foot 496 disc just like this, and if I remember, I think it's also a rock flex, just like this disc is. Okay, well, Dad just jumped in the tractor. the disc wheels can float. It's set in as far as it can go. Well, you saw Dad rolling there in the 8070, and now I jump back in here to the disc on the red tractor, and don't know if you can see it, but Dad stopped running the 8070 and he's back over that way raking hay. So I'm hoping to be able to get some drone footage of the 8070 on that disc. So wait and see here how things work out. But so far though, this is working up pretty good. Take care of a lot of these lamb's quarter, water hemp, and mare's tail. In this part of the field right here, no, kind of hard to see it straight ahead of me, but had a neighboring farmer here. No, today's August 1st, but this would have been the early part of July. But he contacted Dad wondering if he could come out here in our wheat stubble, and he had some soybeans left in his bean planter and just run them out just to get rid of them. And so oh, you can kind of see a little strip right over there. I'm guessing it's probably about 3 to maybe 4 acres. Got talking to another neighboring farmer of ours, and so he said, well, you know what, maybe I'll just try a little spot out there in that field, just see how double crop beans do. And so we're going to leave a little spot out there and just see how they turn out. Generally in this part of Indiana, double crop beans don't seem to mount a whole lot because they end up getting hit by early frost. And so I figure, well, hey, free beans. And my neighbor there, he's got his sprayer is still set up to spray. I've already cleaned ours up and put it back in the shed. But so he's going to come down and spray that little strip over there, and we'll just see how double crop beans do. And hey, if it doesn't turn out, or if they get hit by early frost, well, the seed was free anyway, so can't beat that deal. We'll see how things work out. But I think my dad said my grandpa tried double crop soybeans back in the mid 80s, if I remember right. I need to ask him again. And I think the way Dad talked, they didn't exactly turn out too great because early frost got them and killed them. So we'll see how that strip out there does, and if it works, it works. If it don't, well, no big loss. Alright guys, well you saw there on the drone, just got finished up here, got the inrows done, and that's got this little approximately 3-acre test patch out here from where these beans are. We'll see how they do. Yeah, there they are. I mean, they're not real tall, but see what happens. So, well, hey, I'm going to call this an end the video. So take care. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time.